could fix it. Why is YouTube fucking up like this? There we go. Alright, everybody, and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. I hope you all are all having a wonderful morning, evening, or night, and that you're here to enjoy the fucking game with me. Now, where were we? Crack Conway. Yeah, this one. Nice. Oh wait, right? Slowing the first recruit worm will allow Fang to access into the facility. You'll need to be ready to give this all your attention. Okay, let's focus right now on this specific part right here. Yeah, this is Cycle 69. It's pretty funny. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up out of this facility. It unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink and water. Sleeper! Fang's voice crackles through. Sleeper! Come in! Nodes. Nodes? Then ports. A whir of interference. Slot the worms. So we gotta do nodes, then the ports. Timer starts now. Timer starts now. Stay safe. Shit. The thread dissipates. You are on your own now. So I just this node is linked to an outer security layer. Fang must be struggling to get through. Okay. Let's bypass that. The first layer of security, a ring of doors around the central facility. Time to open them. Okay. Fang progress, security layer F disabled. Oh, great, there's two of them now. The inner S layer security is more complex. One access point won't be enough to locate the port. Okay, good. This one has a 4 though, so I can actually do this one. Both the S layer nodes need to be extracted before the port will open. It's like, oh I can still do this with a 3. One more river worm. Okay, good. Oh no. 3 nodes to locate the final port, then Fang will be in. Not much time left. I don't have more than that. That's a 5. I can do that one. I can do this one. Crack Conway. Feng's main terminal, Conway extraction. A timer on the terminal shows how many cycles you have left to get the data you need. Come on, Feng. Okay. We're fine. But this needs a 5 or a 3, and this one, if it'll connect. This one needs a 6 or a 5, which is rough. I thought it was all in the same cycle, but since I'm already 2/3 of the way there, it should be good. Okay. What else do I need to do? Disable this. Which of these has something in it? I need more spores, I guess. Two grow spores, nice. The mushrooms are the most random chance thing it's here, which makes them the hardest thing to collect. Getting scrap in the ship mine pieces was comparatively easy, and it's just weird. Okay, let's end the cycle here. Smiling at you when you come leave, clearly happy to see you again. Maurice, good to see you. Same. He rubs his hands on his jacket. How you been? Working hard. I bet. He grins. Well, you are always welcome to hang at the bay if you want. He glances around. Actually, that's what I'm here for. Oh, don't tell me that you guys need more help. I know Bliss said she didn't want to take any more big jobs, but she changed her mind or something. He grins. Because now we have someone looking for a refit of their ship in our bay. Jeez. You wouldn't believe it. They want their entire ship disarmed, cutting out defense arrays, weapon lockers, ship-to-ship, countermeasures, the whole lot. He leans in. Well, we'll be able to start an arms dealership with all the hardware we'll have up there when we're done. He laughs. Anyways, it's a massive job and we need some hands. Bliss said to go get you. Alright. So come on up. Bliss is waiting on you to access the job. He pauses. It'll be good to know to have you up there again. Besides, like old times. It's only been a couple cycles, I think. Yeah, I was re-rolling that. Alright. It needs a 3 or a 5. So we use the 5 here. And we're using 6 again. The last ripper worm. Yes! Thanks, progress. A thread from the facility cuts through the cloud like a hairline cracked light. That's it. The final layer of security broken. Somewhere buried in the depths of the station, Feng is in control. He is slicing into the camera control circuits and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene, two figures in a room, one sat and the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves with Hardin, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of gray hair. Oh. The second figure features don't seem to resolve. They are a vague, unformed, a problem. They are vague, unformed. A problem with the data, perhaps? You look closer. Then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to automation. The proxy is a machine designed to be piloted by remote connection, someone elsewhere in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking so it may speak. Oh, so kind of like how the robots that we have nowadays are. Because we can, or at least what they're trying to do is make them pilotable with like tracking suits and such in VR headsets. That way people can do jobs that are super dangerous from afar. The proxy sits impassively, or the Conway executive that is piloting them does, from the distant safety of some ship or orbit colony, perhaps. We can move forward, there is no doubt, Hardin was saying. The reclamation teams are almost ready, and after I will make the declaration, nothing has changed. The proxy leans forward, its movement stilted, uneven, as if its body was being refracted through water. But things must change, Hardin. But things must change, Hardin. We need further assurance. I have been informed of a breach in one of the closed networks in the low end. You have been careless. Hardin waves the accusation away. We have been searching. A breach was detected, yes, but no data of value was lost. Our board is concerned, Hardin. A drop in our value would be unwelcome. It'd be unwelcome at this time. The proxy leans back, its posture dominant. If the reclamation of A1 is consented, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position. Hardin approaches the proxy. There will be no contest. Not from Solheim, who cannot muster a defense. Not from Havenage, who will fall into line with me. He crouches in front of the seated figure, eye to eye, and the people of the station, refugees, gangs, spacers, all either opportunists or degenerates. Havenage is no longer strong, no longer united. No one here believes in Erlin's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across from him at the negotiation table. He was forcefully eager, weakened by his ideological convictions, perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The eye is crippled, it cannot survive. It is a ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They will be lucky if it still spins in 100 cycles. Hardin stands. You will move forward with the reclamation, because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. Without palladium, your factories will go dark. He pauses. Do I need to continue? One moment. Comes the response from the proxy, and its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more. The awaiting the discussion taking place elsewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces as he considers his future. What's going on within a mind like that? In the mind of a man who would burn all those around him for a path to some imaginable man. A proxy lifts its head. We are happy to receive you. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim 81. Our salvage within 6 cycles have manages to assist with the transportation of the illegal residents to Conway housing and labor facilities. The proxy judges. Conway will also claim 70% of the raw output of the reclamation process, after losses have been accounted for. Hardin nods. I accept. The proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and then the recording stops. Wow, that's terrible. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by a horrified fascination. There is a bluntness to the conversation. It is a blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed, and loss is accounted for in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different than anyone else on the station in the eye of the people in that room and those like them. Each body here can be recast in a piece of property, a tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In one moment, they can be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in another, the very idea of citizenship can be used against them. That is what it means to live in a proximity to a system like this. No longer. Not while the eye speaks. You gather the recording, pack it into a polygon of purest light, then you drift down to the service docks like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of data, that recording, into the relay system thing prepared, and then you watch as it bursts out a web of threads heading out into the black to every networked device on the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. Icebreaker. Talk about an icebreaker. Jeez. More like an iceberg breaker. I can now get a +2 in something. Cool. Or I can get all of the passives. Yeah. $20% isn't much, but it'll work for stuff like stabilizers. Oh, is he over here now? No, wait. Over here. Feng Bei. The building is chaotic. Most of it is in total lockdown. No one will give you a straight answer about Feng or Hart. 2 cycles, and he might be back at Feng, at his own bay. Right? Because he's not still over here anymore. Now I can sell both of these. I appreciate what you presented, but I have nothing more to offer. That's enough for now, Sleeper. I have other things to attend to. Sweet. I wonder what that does. I could just do a 6, please. Bar shift. Just get some money. Oh, wait. Oh, nice. You can also cancel this midway. Let's hope this. Overlook distillery. 1. Nice. Alright. Oh, there's still an active scene somewhere. Oh, wait. Is it up here? Yep. Silly me. I didn't think that was in the scene. When you enter the bay, it's weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand, and maybe Bliss is preparing the kit. That ship looks familiar, is what I was gonna say. What? I knew it. I knew it looked familiar. Sleeper. Ankita is drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. The idea of not seeing Ankita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago, but seeing her without her armor, she seems smaller, less imposing. Ankita? Finally got rid of your armor? So she's getting rid of all of her weapons and stuff. I'm just gonna say her name. She nods and kicks off the wall, drifting closer. So what's this? Come to avenge Ashton or Sleeper? Or just looking for another payout? Her anger is familiar, but quieter than before, restrained. Don't start. Start what? You are the one following me up here. She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay instruments, because I've got my best repair tech coming up here especially, and they are going to. Bliss collides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita standing off. Oh, Sleeper, you're already here, Miss Cassetta. This is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, do you know each other? Do you two know each other? You and Ankita look at each other. She's a killer. We worked together. Bliss squints at you both before continuing. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you'd like to sign our damage waivers here, we can start on the decommissioning. She looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as I am. Is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrolls her signature across the slate. Thank you. Bliss pauses. And everything is okay. With the special payment terms we discussed. She gives Ankita a strange smile. All fine. All fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. And then she kicks off the drift of the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says, and leaves. Special payment terms? She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What is she so nervous about? This is exactly a, this isn't exactly a typical job. Miss Cassetta, I mean, Ankita, she gives you a knowing look. Doesn't have the chits to pay us, so we've made a special agreement. I'm leaving. Oh, leaving? You're joining a mercenary crew? Yeah. Don't make me laugh. Ankita is an ex-merc. Why do you think she's getting us to remove all her ship's armaments? Amber. The ship is called Amber. Blips gives you a funny look. There's some deep history. There's some deep history here, huh? She holds up a hand to stop you answering. Look, all I care is that she is heading for a starboard belt. She looks out of the bay. And that's where I'm headed. Oh, you actually are joining her. She turns back to face you. Also, I wanted to ask. She stops unsure. If you'd like to come with us. Oh. That's an option? That's so cool. I already have the Sidereal Horizon ticket, though. And I need to get this tracker out of my body. I can't. She interrupts before you answer. I know things have been hard for you on the Eye, and you helped me so much. I asked Ankita if she'd carry 2 of us, and she said yes. Moritz will take over the bay anyways. Although if you stay here, you are welcome to help him run it. I just thought, she sighs, you might be in need of a fresh start as much as I am. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyways. The berth is there. We've got to finish the job first anyways. Alright. And with that, she kicks away and heads to the racks before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for disarming of the ambergris. Starward belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. Because I still have stuff I want to do on the Eye, and I think the Sidereal Horizon's a definite option. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 cycles for that. And then I have to fix this one, which I could finish probably quickly. But for now, oh wow, it also reduces the price on the stray. That's awesome. At least it looks like she's trying to turn a new leaf. It looks like they're both gonna do a new life. That's good for them. Nice, I got another 6. What else? Oh, it's a ticket draw. So, it's more assured that I can leave if I go on the ship. Oh, also, but there's also this episode, Flux. I guess I could just activate it since I have enough caps for it. Might as well. You came! Peak smiles as you walk into the Climbing Briar's cargo hold behind the gloomy ashes. They brought mushrooms. They brought mushrooms. Esh tosses the mushroom caps into the crate, raising her eyebrow at Peak. Peak gives her a look. Thank you, Sleeper. Then pick one up and sniff it. Sniff at it. They pick one up and sniff at it. Are these edible? Try it. Peak squints at you with the mushroom before delicately putting it back down. I'll wait. What accent should I give? We are not so used to fresh produce. Ash is searching crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? In the installation we grew up on. Ash wipes off her hands on the rag. VPR loves to name their properties after natural things, but that's about as far as the relationship with plant life goes. XPR? What, this an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we are done with that place, which is all you need to know. Okay, good. Ash leans back down against the crate she was securing. We are going to need more than a few mushrooms if you want to help those refugees, though. Why are they trapped? You tell me. It's your station administration that set up the cordon. Pete gives Ash a look. Sorry. She looks at Peak. I know, this isn't on you. Ash stands on the walk and walks over to mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. This place isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can't you just fly around? That's a pretty good point. And get the Briar seized for breaching quarantine? No thanks. She laughs. We were lucky we got here before the cordon was set up, and the only reason we are on this side. That's the only reason we are on this side. Why is there a quarantine? Yeah, why is there a quarantine? Peak jumps. The eye has it. The eye has a close-up closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significant increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its system. You mean like the giant crash? Ash scoffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now? Peak turns. We are being realistic, Ash. I've lost the accent already. It was silly. But these people aren't an increased strain. They are living people, Ash stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single monolithic group. That's so true. Ash slides a container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo holds racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we still got a lot of space to fill in this hold. So if you're going to help, I think Esh is trying to say we need your help quickly, Peak says, glancing at her. The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold up indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles or so. Okay. Esh steps forward. Or Heavenage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. I'll help if I can. Peak looks nervously at Esh. They were hoping for something more concrete. Yeah, I know. There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Okay. I have mushrooms. I can get scraps next cycle. Ash gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can just find a way to source, or, my preference, just siphon off the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peak raises an eyebrow. Ash! She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no one can get through enough volume to feed a flotilla. No way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over. If we can get access... Not more stealing, Ash, Peak sighs. I didn't say steal. She stares at him indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stacks, harvest some algae for the flotilla. Those stacks churn out vast quantities in short time scales. In the repair components? Peak asks tentatively. Ash smiles. Just look around you, Peak. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance, and I'm sure the sleeper has their sources and can bring them back here. Yeah, I do. We get everything before time runs out. Perfect. We get most of it. Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have to go. But how will you get through? Esh shoulders a container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peak. They flinch. Are you serious, Esh? I know we said we should help the flotilla, but at what point? They stop, take a breath. Take this seriously? I don't know the first thing about breaching the quarantines of cordon. Breaching a quarantine cordon. Maybe not, Esh looks at you, but they might. They slipped out from an SN facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You are always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help! Peak glances between the two of you. I swear to. They sigh. I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out. Meanwhile, Esh keeps your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Halfinage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is over for us all. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull us all together. I wonder if I can still do this in just a few cycles. Packing out the containers. Peek, come help me. Peek glances back at her. Sleeper, look. We didn't choose this either. They lower their voice. Help us find this. Finish this. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You are welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this. They smile. We are in this together. I already have a little apartment thing that I built. It's kind of cool. Peek! Esther shouts, and they walk back into the hole to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the eye's ring, where Havenage Cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? That is a good question. Does this have anything interesting? No. It's normal stuff. They need some scrap, though. I only have 2. Okay. Screw it. I'll just sleep here this time. Complete active scene. Ah, never mind. There, the cordon. Meeting Peak. Peak asks you to meet them in the cordon. You hope they have a plan to cross, because this place seems impossible. I could get scraps from the wastes. If I do this, I can keep an extra dice. Which will help me get more scrap. What active seed is there? What did I complete and fully lose? Oh, it's over here. Oh, Lemon Mina. What's up? The crowd have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked alongside on the side reel. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and a few of them smile at you, instead of the nervous energy of the crowd. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He slightly raises an eyebrow at you, his anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. Robot! She shouts, reaching out to you. Hi, Mina. She waves frantically, grinning. Quite the turnout, huh? Then glances around. I don't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths. The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lem's attention. He is pulling lightly. This place seems set to explode. This isn't good. Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. Isn't there a few more cycles until this is done? This is the Aster Encart of the Cells Foundation. This is the Aster Encart of the Cells Foundation. The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance and shouts off, "Quiet!" Rapidly followed. Shouts of "Quiet!" rapidly followed. I'm sorry, I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Cinder Celis for the work you have done on this sidereal horizon. Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. Cinder wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment to Cinder wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment to and belief in the Celis Foundation mission. We chose the Eye for the project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the venerable Havenage Associates. Unlike most in the Corps, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You're all pioneers, just like the core citizens who the sidereal horizon will carry in cryosleep to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier, world Celis 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. There are citizens we able to create their own innovative bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Cinder Silas herself, freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the avant-garde. As a reminder for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision. The staff of the Sidereal Horizon who will maintain the vessel during the multi-decade transit through interstellar space. Lim turns to you, his eyes bright. This is it! Oh, sorry. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation, and its final binding, please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and further delay, I will now read the Celis identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. Damn, they have a long-ass announcement for this. They really just want to run it out. A murmur runs through the crowd. Celis identification number? License a contractor? You have never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? You glance at Lim, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones, like a rising wave. Astur starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters. The panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what is happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. Lim? You turn to see Lim staring forward. Mina is scared now and shouts. And as the shouts start, Daddy? Oh shit, someone throws something at the entrance and it rattles against the shipyard door. You see for the first time, Havenage security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lim, we should go. He doesn't move. They might call out our names. I can't. Mina tugs on his dog tags. It's not happening. Lim blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and he looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands it's time to go. You lead Lim and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Astur reading off the ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lim, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffing into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you too. They screwed all of you. You were never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel like a security siren sound out a signal for the coming violence. Whoa. Oh, drive failed? Was I supposed to push it or something? Did I do that wrong? It seemed dangerous, and it sounded like they didn't have the ticket. It wasn't doing the tickets like they said. What the hell? That's terrible! Jeez! I can't believe that that's how that works. Can I get random scrap parts? Yeah. That's terrible, though. I can't believe that's how that works. That sucks. Man. There's a note on the door. A sleeper gone to find work. Them. Oh no. Should I have pushed? Maybe he would have made it? Ah, man. Fuck. Feng grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. Give me a second. That's better. Above in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meetings after endless meeting. Haven't have avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Fang is in good spirits. And bundles you inside before you even have the chance to greet him. That was the slickest operation the station has seen. He hugs you firmly. You made my job easier. He shakes you up by the shoulders. I'm so proud. And he smiles. I got to watch through the cameras, and having security that weren't on it assaulted the station. Feng smiles. One of them straight up whacked Hardin with their pistol. It was beautiful. They have him? Oh, was he watching the riot that was happening? They have him though? He's being held, yeah. He looks around. I think the idea is to use him as leverage with Conway. Get them to back off. Maybe they'll exile him when they are done, or hand him off over to some core authority. Feng shushes. Now, I know he won't be in one issue. He won't be an issue. I'm going to be focusing on systems for a bit. He shakes his head, seeing as that's my actual job. He points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy together. They've been fielding questions about the state of the iris right and left since the recording got out. People are scared. Is it true? Fang looks at you directly. Not if we don't want it to be. He touches a stack of hardware. The eye is old, and it was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlin and Havenage installed, they keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But, if you're asking me, if the eye will stop spinning each cycle, no. He smiles. Me, and a ton of other skilled people will be working to stop it happening in the cycle after that. Alright. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems and their ability to shape the world around them. Feng squeezes your shoulder. But, as far as I'm concerned, people should be the ones running the systems, not the other way around. Anyways, Fang raps on the side of his head, his terminal. I know you don't come down here for a lecture, my tracker. I haven't forgotten. He produces a thumbnail drive. I managed to find this code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to detect that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added something extra. That tracker of yours doesn't just show S and ARP where you're at. It transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. Oh. The worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit the data to tell S and ARP your body is irreparably damaged. DNR. Did not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right? That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. That's so cool. Just slot it already. You take the drive and hold it in your hands, and then you close your eyes and open the access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment that you are gone, you forget they were even there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it is done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Fang, a little nervously. The same. Give it to me. He pats you on the shoulder and looks at the terminal screen. The log tells me it worked, so feel it or not, you're free. Good. Fang lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Fang wraps his arms around you. Gina still owes you those drinks. He laughs as you join him, and later, when you leave, you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels, in that moment, like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can, or even should, last forever, or that it will never change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future, and it is one that you know deeply and truly is worth protecting. Nice. Prove the overlook and work for Rabia and help with the mushrooms. At least I got rid of the tracker. Hell yeah. Finally. After like 70 plus cycles. Because it is such a wild goose chase to find Fang. But now I understand. You go to him and then you meet him back over here and then you fucking have to help him with Mingy and then you go all the way over to here and you finish his goose chase when you finally get back all the way over to your first spawn station. Your first empty container. Yeah, that first house that you stay in. And he's right at his bay, which I thought he wasn't going to get back into because it was ramshackled. There we go. Ooh. Half-inch alert. Half-inch alert. Water for the flotilla. Oh! I can get them a little alert. It should be fine. Oh. Oh well. Negotiate access. The algae stacks is controlled by a small collective of farmers. You want to use it, you'll need to persuade them. Okay, and then I'll go to emphasis stall, and that way I don't take double damage. Knife and fork. There we go. You leave and you find a note pinned to the inside of the door, outside of the door. It reads, "Sleeper, there's something you need to see. Meet me at Cordon as soon as you can. Just keep heading around the ring until you hit the flotilla. I'll be waiting. Peek." You pocket the note and glance around the corridor. Looks like you're doing this. Time to make a plan. Okay. One water at a time. That's gonna take a while. Let's get some scrap. Because that ship's gonna be gone for a minute. Oh no, wait, it's back. It's still here, I mean. But I can't do anything other than this, and it just gives me money. I still need 2 more pieces of scrap. Okay, which of these is just safer? Yeah, there we go. Mushrooms really are quite an acquired taste. Not too many people like them. I think it's mostly a texture thing, though. They're really good for you. Oh, again, another lost active scene. I wish you could see everything on the rim from up there. Oh. Kind of hard to do a scene when it won't even connect to it. There we go. Sleeper! Pete catches your attention from the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? This place is huge. It certainly is. Havenage have been busy. Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window, which looks across the ruined rings and my glasses are dirty. To the blinking and red lights of the Havenage cordon. The cordon's temporary structure, a net of metal struts, means to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the front. Shut out into the black, and all around the tugs flit, securing them in place, tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? What do you think? Pink interrupts your thought. How would you get through? Use one of the tugs. As an escort, you mean? I doubt you could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seems like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cordon, Peek squints at the red lights. But then we'd be stuck inside. Peek turns away from the windows and rubs their forehead. Ash has really wrapped us up in something here, hasn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Maybe we try all three. Peek laughs. I like it. At least we should prepare as many ways we can. The way I see it, there are three parts to making it through the cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we are meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work. Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention to that one, so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar is doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon scanning and deterrent systems, that should help them. That should keep them busy. Finally, speed will keep making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we can do a little more on the ship to get her ready, as Shirley wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. She does that. How does that sound? It sounds good. Good to hear, Pete grins. Peek looks down at at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather the supplies and to prep this plan. It's tight. Very tight. Peek looks at you. If this goes wrong, Peek sighs. Just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Esh anywhere but you. You don't need to get dragged down with us. Well, I hope it won't come to that. Peek brightens up a little. Of course, but just keep in mind. Let's get to it. Peek stretches. I'll tell Ash about the improvement to the Briar, and the rest, let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I have no idea what guardian angels sent you to us, Sleeper. Peek smiles, but I am very glad they did. Alright, I'll have to do that next cycle. I can just use this to sleep, though. It's closer anyways. I need the supplies first, though. Algae! Yeah! Everyone loves algae. Totally. They're gonna be so thankful for that algae that they're gonna get to eat. One thing about being a sleeper is people always assume you are working, so blending in with the tug crews shouldn't be too tough. The cordon buzzes with radio transmissions and data packets. Intercepting them will help you. Wait, which one? Intercepting them will help you give you a sense of how things run here. True. I also need some scrap though. Now I have enough 8. Yes. Here's all 8 scrap you need. You look over the pile of scrap components lying in the Briar, and you look around the bay. The bay is empty. Ash and Peak either elsewhere on the station or on the bridge in a couple levels up. You begin sorting through the pile, separating out useful components and boxing them by use. You don't recognize everything you find, but before long, you get into the rhythm of sorting. As you do, your mind starts to drift, your attention being drawn into the darkened corners of the bay. The Briar is in unsurprisingly good condition, considering that Hawthorne and XPR have been operating in it for decades by now. The marks of care are everywhere, from the delicate patch jobs polished to meld into the original finish, or the carefully bound wiring running through custom trunks. Esh loves this ship, that much is clear. Something catches your eye in one of the dark corners, a matte black stack of crates you hadn't spotted before. They are sleek and compact, tucked away behind some of the bigger, more worn containers. Investigate it, sure. You put the components away and go over to the sleek crates. You run your hand across the textured surface, but there's a little hint of what lies inside the opaque metallic casing. There's a little hint to it. Then you see it, a yellow symbol embossed onto the far side of the crate. A universal sigil used by spacers, corporations and manufacturers alike. It's one you have seen throughout your time as a sleeper. Its meaning all too familiar. Explosive content. Oh, they've got dynamite. You hear a hiss and Esh comes up through the day's lock. She barely registers your presence, nodding at you as she passes. Sleeper, she busies herself with some task at the back of the bay. I kind of want to ask about it just to get more information. Esh doesn't turn around from whatever she is busy with. Just more supplies, Sleeper, like everything else here. You can't think of anything else to ask, but since the atmosphere has now somehow shifted, you quickly finish up and start up the sorting and slip out, waving goodbye to her. Back as you do. Alright, they've got bombs. That's not sketchy at all. Okay, I'm gonna... Ooh, nice. I'm gonna eat another day. And I'm gonna check on Lim and Mina. I hope they're okay. There's no answer when you buzz Lim's unit, but the door is open. You push the door to find Mina sitting in the middle of the floor playing with Bun Bun. Where's Lim? Mina doesn't respond. She walks Bun Bun across the floor, narrating quietly to herself. You look around the unit. It is a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side. Some of Mina's clothes piled up in a corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor. Her drawing slate cracked and dark. Let's tidy stuff up. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes and auto wash, and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You've just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lim enters. Ah, good, he's okay. Sleeper, what are you? He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag up by the door and slumps onto the couch. Where were you? Everything okay, man? Lim lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now, too? Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. You can take my side rail ticket. I have another way off the ship if I need it. Help? Unless you have a side rail ticket or two, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few for my crews. It turns out only long-time Havenage members were issued those Celis ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. That's so fucked. Havenage say they didn't know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows? Maybe Celis pulled the wool over their eyes. But what does it matter? All those hours in the yard for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams his hand on the sofa. That can't be it. Well, it is. He looks at the open door again. They are moving the side rail up the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eyes. That's where it'll depart from. They are bridging this in a ship with their own cryosleep, pioneers and transferring them up here in microgravity before landing the crew. We could steal a ticket, or we could do either of these things. We could steal a ticket? Lim laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. They're just those ID numbers coded to someone's identity. No stealing that. Oh. Dang, that's a good point. Also, I have a full-ass ship mind on me for some reason. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. He sighs. We had our hearts set on the trip is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. I get that. What if you got on board? What if you got on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I missed that optimism. Lim stokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around, be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the side reel will bring in a crowd, but be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find any way aboard, you take it. You need help to get there, ask me. But for now, me and Mina here are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. Thanks, Lem. No, thank you, Sleeper, for coming by. You stand to leave and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. And then you are out, back in the walkway of the low end, already thinking of plans to make this right. Alright. Stray crunches up the crackers and watches. Sometimes they'll let you pet them. That's all. That's it though. Okay. I can get an extra 150 cryo from it, I guess. If I really needed to. Okay, let's check out this. The supplies matter a little bit more too. I love when it does that. One more on that, one more on that. Then I need that cordon information, that should be good. Three dice next round, screw it, I've got enough money to just keep doing this. and stealing the water is dangerous. There we go. That's so much better. Oh, or I could just use both of these on the water and it should work. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Esh is double-checking the seals on the water tanks loading onto the motorized trolley. Though you are far enough away from any thoroughfare not to worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. How will you get these to the Briar? Esh glances back at you. Well, we'll trolley these up to a bay further down around, and then we'll bring in the Briar for a quick and quiet collection. Speaking of quiet, she gives you a look, and then looks pointed back down at the corridor towards the reservoir before hitting the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. To take the other side of the trolley and walk it up the wide corridor with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus, you doubt it gets used by Havenage. At least that's what the hope. You glance across the Esh. Her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey go a little easier. How did you meet Peak? Esh pauses, a little surprised by your question. She glances back down the tunnel, but in the deserted passage she can hardly keep up the persistence of silence. We grew up together, she answers quietly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you are expecting her to add more. And she seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but trying instead to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administrators keep a tight hold of everything. She rolls her eyes, even though they are trapped in the same decaying installation as everyone else. Yeah, Peak. She pauses. Peak found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Since silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Esh's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. Peak isn't the most practical of people. They used to be, well, they needed someone to teach them to look after themselves, stand up for themselves. That was me. She smiles. After that, I couldn't get rid of them. She stops talking but you see her eyes have lit up, and you imagine she is recalling some moment or other from her in Peak's past. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway, and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you're done, Esh turns to you. I'm good from here, head back. I'm good from here, head back. And with that, she's gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walked, you try to piece together Esha's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Why can't I repeat that action? The cord unbuzzes with radio transmission and data packets. The reception node will help give you a sense of how things are going. Run here. Alright. Good shit. Saving refugees is important. We gotta make sure that as many people that can be alive are alive. Oh, so I have to beat both of these. Dang. I was wondering if I could eat mushrooms. Since they're specifically made for me, apparently. Because that's how they grow, which is weird. If you think about it, it's like, how does that work? But it's also cool. So, I'm not gonna question it. Alright, nice. That's gonna take a lot of shit. That's really what's slowing me down here on this mission too. I wonder if I can give my side rail ticket to Lemon and Mina. That would be nice. Yeah, I gotta go do that other thing. Yummy algae. one more of those, and that should be done, and then I can push the rest onto the cordon scan, and that should be good. It's all good. Alright. Speaking of refugees, though, like, I get why people don't like refugees whenever they're causing an issue. Refugees have to consider that they're going to someone else's country, and that if they do anything stupid, they will be hated for it. Boom, there we go. You are leaning against the metal crates you just loaded up with algae, packed and dried into bright green packets. Esh hops onto one beside you, flexing her aching back. Is this enough? I hope the refugees like algae. Yeah. Esh squints at you. As you just interrupted her train of thought. It's a look you have to come to. It doesn't matter either way. This is what you've got. She sighs, rubbing the back of her neck. And in these past cycles, working with the algae stacks with Esh, you've had a little insight into her mind. She rarely seems happy to start a conversation, but is always eager to end one. Despite this, you feel like something's growing between you. Something like silent trust. The kind that tends to seed itself in the fertile soil of hard but necessary work. You concerned? Esh laughs. You could say that. She turns to face you. I think I'd be stupid to not be concerned about all this. She's right, of course. Though it's hard to focus your concern on one thing in particular. Can the refugees survive on the flotilla? What are Havage doing to help them? If the quarantine is lifted, is the Eye really in danger? Each worry is far too long to even bring to process to judge, and they mesh with other more personal worries until you feel the anxiety growing in your chest. You look at Esh and are suddenly eager to speak, to talk about something, anything, rather than just sitting and feeling this growing weight. Why are you helping the flotilla? Yeah. Esh pauses, her protective instinct fighting the trust you've built. You can see her begin to shrug the question off. Then she stops, rethinks it, and sighs. What you need to understand, Sleeper, is the Earl and I wasn't the only place where the Solheim collapse happened. Sure, Hawthorne, where we grew up, was an XPR installation, but that didn't screen it for Solheim going under. Actually, Solheim was the only reason XPR were ever here. She pauses, hesitant to get into the whole story, but wanting to offer something. She flinches, correcting herself. They are a service corp, you understand? They set up outposts and surrogate systems like this to offer refueling, logistics, and maintenance services to bigger companies with extraction contracts. She gestures to the Eye around her, like Solheim. When Solheim went bust, XPR lost their client, and Hawthorne, well, we lost everything. We became an outpost tasked with just holding on, keeping the refueling platforms running, they said. Keep the outpost stable, hold on to your claim, our claim. She rubs her head, as if recalling all this was somehow physically painful. Do you know what it is like to spend your entire life in a place with no future? A place that exists only to hold a legal claim to a place of territory to shore up breach of contract negotiations between two corporations. It's like in a she searches for the word, her eyes jumping back and forth. In a grave, she clenches her hand. So, if you are looking for the answers to why questions, that's your answer. We, Peak and I, know that it's like what it's like to be forgotten, to be locked out. She stares hard at the side of the stack, the algae whirling against the glass in beautiful patterns, and she doesn't look away. The silence extends, and you realize the concentration is over. Ash seems angry, not at you, but with herself, for even voicing such ideas. After a while, you stand and start to load the crates onto the powered cargo trolley that Ash will run back to the Briar. As you do, you try to catch her eye, but she avoids it, soothing herself instead with the comforting simplicity of physical work. Oh, do I need 3 points for these? Yeah, I do. Alright. Engage. I can get all my energy back like this. And I get it done. Hell yeah. Oh, okay. Crew canteen. Deflecting suspicion, taking hardline attitude, loudly arguing in favor of the quarantine, making friends with security, there are ways to deflect suspicion. And convince a crew. With division rife amongst the tug crews, gaining support from a supply shipment will just be a case of picking the right crew and approaching it directly. Tugs have powerful suites of ion thrusters for rapid maneuvering. If you can sneak in and slice some off, you'll have a significant upgrade for the Briar. Some careful sabotage to the coordinate system should create a sensor gap that will allow the Briar to bypass the automatic quarantine system. Okay. Which of these has a smaller thing? 6. Same here. So these are both 6s. And this one I can at least deflect suspicion. If I get a good crew and I can sabotage one of those things, that would be perfect. Essentially. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting. Wait. Let me check real quick. Nah, it took a time. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little, but does not respond. Good, okay. The drone buzzes closer and the voice gurgles out its speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Oh. You have drones? That's cool. Who is this? The drone clicks and whirs, and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the corridor. We need to speak. What? It's just a messenger? Expect the drone. You move closer to the drone, bobs away. And the drone bobs away to a safe distance. But it does see... As it does, you see the HA of half an inch emblazoned on its side. Could this be Fang's drone? Satisfied, it has delivered its message. The drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. Yeah, what the hell was that? To the cordon, I guess. An unknown Habitage member. Oh, I'm re-rolling that. As you enter the passage that leads through the corridor, a flash of movement catches your eye. The drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it and then flips to a side passage, leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing and checking are followed. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins and sequence. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect the situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? A woman is standing at the window. Helen? Who are you? Standing at the window at an edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Sleeper. Sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense, she nods at the drone, but I have never regretted being cautious. She smiles, a tight smile, and holds out a hand. I'm Helen. Sure, I'll shake your hand. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around at the empty, obscure deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans, and she cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a half-an-inch member when you see them. You're half an inch, like I figured. Or should I just let her talk? I'll stare. I'll wait. She glances around nervous again and moves a little closer. The entire situation, I am not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Then release the flotilla. Especially not the refugees. She sighs. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? Hardenhurst. She squints at you. That was unfortunate, but you should know it was one of our own who exposed Hardin, and that has been dealt with. Havenage is used to being criticized in some way. We invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting, to propose new structure and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. Give me a second. Alright. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed and worse. She looks down, but we keep this place running, and that is what we do. And the flotilla? And the non-members in general? There are paths to membership, and we cannot force everyone on the station to join us. What do you expect? We are an association of individuals. We cannot always account for the needs of those outside the structure. She turns and looks out at the flotilla. No matter how much we wish to. So you want to, but you aren't going to. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of gyro? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure. Helen's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screenlet casting her rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havenage works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breaching the quarantine and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. Let's play dumb. She smiles. Please, I don't have time for games. I know you think you are helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the right ring, one of the countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to the station. These debates are at a standstill. Heaven walks to the window. Too many in the Havenage Council think the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged, protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to life on the Eye. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline counselors' case. Criminals who stole a snip from XPR, undermining the security shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. So what? That sounds... So what? Yeah. She looks at you coldly. So what, Sleeper? I'm saying to worry if you know anything about what you are doing here. She sighs deeply. And those XPR spacers you are running with, Sleeper, do you know anything about them? More than I know about you? No, not really, but I know more about them than I know about you. She looks at you pleadingly. Let's change that, Sleeper. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here? Something is happening on the system. Something is pushing people out of the colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim's collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming, ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you are still here. Help me protect it. Helen fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spacers that this is a wrong move, and they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down. That havenage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with the Eye you barely know, and help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead, and they are caught. Every way I look at the Eye, the Eye looks compromised. The quarantine justified. The hardliners get their scapegoat. I don't offer up the excuses the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members. They're the safer pair of hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind and sense desperation in her pleas. A notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls through pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers. Help them see reason. And she quickly leaves. The observation deck before you have any time to respond at all. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tug and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination and yet so far from it. And then you think of Havenage council members across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell in the cold dark below. Well, that makes me think if I can't get all three of these, they shouldn't do it at all. 3 days. Well, 3 cycles. Sleeper! Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different, pale, drawn out. You need to come up to the Briar now. They don't meet your eye. What happened? Not here. Peak hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. Okay. As you walk into the climbing briars cavernous bay, you're now filled with crates and containers. Escher's waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open, with its insides scattered across the top of the heavy-duty crates, is an object you recognize. Helen's drone. freeze. Come in, quick! Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. Esh looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Havenage spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. Esh cuts in. Have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drone like this? Anyone following you on the Briar? Yeah, I've seen this drone. Following you? I met its owner. Following you? I'm gonna say yes. Then it must have been tracking us for a few cycles. Peak cuts in. Why didn't you say anything earlier? Because I met its owner. Ash pauses for a while, Peak looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper. Nah, transparency, screw it. You explain that you met with Helen at the cordon, and you tell Esh and Peak about what she told you. That the Havenage Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Esh walks away in anger and then comes back again, her eyes burning. Jeez. I was hoping saying that to him would have made it better. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we have told you? She paces in front of you. Havenage are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. Yeah, but I don't know if I can do this in 3 cycles. And you're just going to throw yourself at something that you're going to get caught in. You're running into into one of those mosquito traps. You're just going to make it worse. The wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. I didn't have a choice. Hornet's nest? Nah, well, yeah, she is kind of poking the hornet's nest by doing this. Peak cuts in. Listen to them, please. Listen to them, please, Esh. They are with us. Peak glances between you two. What was the Sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed, but by this Helen. I only listened to her. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Sleeper, Esh says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the way in which their hands are tied or their process compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble, higher calling is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their own humanity. Peak tries to cut in, but Esh holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. Helen can help? Ash turns away. I'm done with this. You're risking this entire supply run just by being here. She walks back to the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. No, that's a terrible idea. Sleeper. Peak looks torn. You have to understand, this is a personal for Esh. I know. Peak looks away then at Esh. I don't know, Sleeper. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. You glance around the bay of briar and the walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you. And the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peak. And what do you think, Sleeper? Peak rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? Yeah. Okay then. They squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Esh, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. I have 2 cycles to do this. And I'm probably only going to be able to do it, like, partially. Ah, shit. Oh, it can go down in number. That's great. One more stabilizer and just hope that I get a good enough rolls in this next run to be able to do this. Nice! It reduced this too. A lot. That's so nice. That's just by 2. In the cycle. I can do this 2 more times. Peak grins as you pile the ion thruster set onto the motorized trolley in a derelict trading bay. I borrowed this from Esh. I barely know how it works. They've seemed giddy at the idea of stealing the ship parts from Havenage. Isn't it just a trolley? I guess so. I just find physical technology a bit intimidating. What do you mean physical technology? They help you heave the thrusters into position. My specialty was computer systems. Oh, okay, so software. I mostly worked on keeping the protocols that ran the refueling platform from totally decaying due to lack of use. There's a load of platforms in orbit of the moon Hawthorne is on. In Cinder itself, Ash and I ended up having to head out to them regularly to work on them. Sounds like hard work. Are you kidding? Peak smiles. That was the best job at Hawthorne. You get assigned a ship, you get to leave the colony for a bit, and you must... So... much better than outpost maintenance or canteen work. The only reason I've got assigned to it was that Esh's mother is the administrator of Hawthorne, and Esh managed to get my name on the list too. Peak looks for the trolley's ignition. Esh is always saving me. They find the switch and hit it, And the trolley starts whining. Peak looks at the thruster. Ash will install these. Install these. The Briar's her baby, really. Peak looks towards the bay exit. Truth be told, I was surprised she could bring herself to take it from her mother. Losing a ship, that has to hurt the colony. How many ships does Hawthorne have? What's her mother like? Tough. You'd have to be. You'd have to be to keep control of a service outpost with no service to provide. Peak looks away. It's a tough place overall. Hawthorne and Esh's mom. She likes it. She likes it that way. Peak shuffles the trolley out of the bay into the corridor. They'll manage without the Briar. No choice. Peak smiles, and I have to admit, I'd love to have seen her face when she saw we'd gone. That's funny. Peak pauses. Don't tell Esh that. They walk on quietly, lost in their memories of Hawthorne. Okay, I think I can manage the rest. Peak brushes their hair out of their face. You've done more than enough this cycle. Peak looks over the thruster. Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than ever. You might even get a thank you from Esh. Peak laughs. Yeah, sure I will. She doesn't seem to like me a lot for just listening to a Hawthorne person at all, even. They head off into the corridor, the trolley whining its high-pitched whine. See you soon. Yeah, probably. And then reroll. Gotta hate when you get a 1. Oh, I could just lose some money, it's fine. Nice, okay. One more, and I think I can still get that. Gone, Sleeper. Peak is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Shit. Let's go. If we head to the corridor now, Peak starts back up the corridor. Dang it, she's rushing things too hard. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. A shiver runs down your spine. Esh, I hope you know what you're doing. I hired some crew, so hopefully some of them are there. Oh, shit. You arrive frantic and anxious at the cordon. Peak is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairwells. Helen's drone led you through before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper! Peak emerges from the light. I know she is trying to protect me, but what was she thinking? She was always planning this. I know it. They turn away. How could I have not seen it coming? There it is. Peak rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. You spot the climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white, tiny and alone, arcing down towards the red lights of the cordon. She's exposed, Peek says nervously. They will see her coming if they look. You watch the cordon and the buzzing tugs for any sign of movement, any response. No. The briar crawls silently across your view. Come on, Ash, Peek hisses. Then you see it, a sudden flicker of yellow. Peek sees it too. Those two are tugs. Those two tugs are heading to cut her off. They grip the rail. Go, Ash! As if responding to Peek's urging, the briar speeds up, driving for the cordon edge now. Like a hawk descending, you tense up. Peek grips the rails, the briar races towards the edge of the cordon, the invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Can she pass through? The response is immediate. The moment the briar hits the nest, the entire cordon reacts. Sequences of blinking lights cascade out from the ship position, the angry red of the cordon multiplied many times over. Shit! Peek presses a hand against the window. As they do, the briar accelerates, weaving dangerously through the flotilla. Fuck. You move closer to the window without thinking, unable to take your eyes off the rapidly descending ship. Spinning between the hulls of the flotilla, a group of tugs now tracing its path in pursuit. The briar drifts through the flotilla, but it is agonizingly slow. Come on, Ash! Peek shouts in desperation, pressing a palm against the glass. You squint at the gathering yellow glints of the tug. They're too fast. No. You both watch in dismay as the tugs swarm the briar, their shunts locking onto the hull of the ship, and holding it in place. The briar is stuck. It drives, unable to escape the tug's grip, especially in the close quarters of the flotilla. No. Peek is silent, and you watch as the briar is dragged away towards the facility at the edge of the rim, a hole opening up in the pit of your stomach. No. As you look at Peek, they don't respond. They don't take their eyes off the briar. No. Even after it disappears, they stand there at the glass, their eyes fixed on the flotilla. Yeah. She didn't even get the supplies, though. Peek doesn't look at you. This was all for nothing. I'm sorry. This was stupid, Sleeper. Peek looks back at you, her wet eyes wet. A stupid plan. We had a ship and our freedom. Now what do we have? Peek slams a hand on the glass in frustration, making you jump. I won't be trapped again. I won't. They turn and rush out into the observation deck before they can say anything, leaving you alone with the cold and the light. Can we help her? She just had to wait longer. There was no way she was making that. I put all of my dice into that and I still couldn't fucking get it to work. Like, jeez. Maybe I needed to have full dice every single day in order to do it. That sucks. Well, I think that's where I have to call the episode, though, guys. Just because it's been 2 hours. But it was a pleasure. I wish I didn't mess that up, though. That was a cool thing. I thought I had it because I had enough dice and I wasn't doing anything other than working on that. I just couldn't make it in time and I got some bad dice rolls. and then they got fucked over because she didn't wait a single day. She didn't even let us, like, join her. That sucks. But I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. And I hope we all can finish the game at least together. Yeah. She was just too ambitious. Well, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and don't push yourselves too hard. Make it a nice day. Get some water and some food and enjoy it. And with that, good afternoon, good night. I'll be seeing you all in the next episode.